Yes, here we are again, people. Sanji Uchiha here, and welcome back to the channel where we finally reach video number 3 on this fine Sunday night. Yes, we're starting back up the Yashahime Princess Half Demon review slash live reactions, but of course with episode 10 here we'll simply just be reviewing. Of course, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Of course, you know, it's always appreciated, you know, joining the Uchiha community that we're, you know, slowly but surely building here. But anyway, let's get right into it. So episode 10 of Yashahime Princess Half Demon. Honestly, it was a nice episode. I like the dynamic and the themes they were going forward with for this episode. This episode we're introduced to Kinka and Ginka, two demons that are, and there's my phone going off there. Sorry about that. But yeah, Kinka and Ginka, two demons who are at birth, they're born, you know, kind of joined together, born with their tribe of demons are born with two heads, and of course it is the fate of the brothers for one head to actually devour the other and become a stronger demon. And of course this was used as a means to basically form a comparison, or essentially, you know, yeah, essentially a comparison between these twins that we actually have as main protagonists in the series, Towa and Setsuna. So the parallels were obvious there in terms of what the writers were going for with this episode. Of course, we're introduced to the leader of the Ka tribe. The translations, the subs that I have are, that's what I got. I don't know what Ka translates, so probably something snake-like more than likely. So there's that. But the leader of the Ka tribe, the woman, the female demon named Joka. One big Joka. I mean, for the most part, the antagonist for this episode, her, was just a means to an end, really, just to facilitate the conflict that we had, the ultimate conflict that we had to overcome for this episode. What's really unhighlighted is the parallels between the two sets of siblings, honestly. And of course, I guess in a sense, it does paint the picture of, you know, probably there will be some conflict going into the future between Setsuna and Towa at some point nonetheless. Of course, we are also introduced, well, not really introduced, but the fact is this episode, honestly, I would say it's more so a Setsuna centric episode, and I kind of like that as well, because last episode it was what, more so Towa getting the spotlight, and I feel like Setsuna was the one getting the spotlight this episode as well. But one thing that we didn't really get is, and I was kind of hoping we get more on it, is the fact that Joka wants revenge on Sesshomaru. We didn't go far with that plotline, so I'm hoping we get some more details on that soon. And in terms of more details, there's something I need to talk about in terms of concern about the series. But before I get to that, so yeah, at one point during the conflict, we have Setsuna taking the spotlight, teaming up with what, Kinka was it, to try and take out Joka, which they more or less, you know, get their objective. But of course by the end of it, the brothers die, unfortunately, and by the end of it, well, Setsuna comes out of it with just a bit more of her memories, which it kind of makes me wonder why, well, obviously apart from plot reasons, why these two brothers itself like triggered that memory. Because the thing is, it's not like Setsuna, I mean, for all intents and purposes, she might as well have amnesia, right? But they're crafting the narrative around the fact that the dream butterfly basically stole her ability to sleep and her dreams, her memories and all of that. So I guess for all intents and purposes, this conflict just basically jogged her memory, or jogged whatever effect the dream butterfly had on Setsuna. That's the only other way I can rationalize it. So there's that. But apart from that and the parallels and potentially setting up some conflict between Towa and Setsuna going forward, potentially speaking, and the nice parallels between the siblings, which also I would imagine push Setsuna's character to, you know, just that, you know, every step closer to being a much even better character. We're 10 episodes in at this point, and I must say I'm wondering how much longer they're planning to hold off on, you know, the explicit details of, you know, what happened to the old cast and thing, right? Because at the end of the day, Granted, I don't know how long the series is going to be, but my prediction is 24 episodes. Obviously, at this point, it could never be 12 episodes. It could never be 12 episodes, people. You know what I mean? So, at this point, I'm wondering how much longer they're gonna hold off, because while the traditional Inuyasha formula is, you know, the tried and tested thing, I think that formula for the most part worked better with the old cast. I think there was much more going for the old cast to juggle that formula for like a long period of time. But with this cast, not that they're not good, but there's, for me personally, there is like a amount of time I feel they can, you know, drag it along with that formula. But given that Sesshomaru was mentioned in this episode, and curiously enough, I'm wondering if in the end the wind that blew probably signified Sesshomaru is actually watching. Who knows? Probably I'm reading into that too much. But yeah, I think not that we should need to really rush into like, okay, shit, this is what happened, something, but I feel like I don't know how to put it into words, but I feel like we're missing something to push the series even further to the next level. And it's not in terms of like animation and art, because even though I think Inuyasha as a franchise, in terms of its anime adaptations, plural, they've generally looked good to me. It's not known as a series that has had like crazy animation, but that's never been the appeal. But I feel, for all intents and purposes, that this series needs something a bit more to push it to the next level again. I'm still enjoying it, don't get it twisted, but yeah. But all in all, I thought this episode was decent. I love the parallels between the two sets of siblings and the messages they were, and potential conflicts they were trying to set up, are probably foreshadow between Towa and Setsuna. For all intents and purposes, I could be reading into it too much, but at the very least, I think it is an indication that not everything is going to be, you know, smooth sailing for the siblings, no matter how you slice and dice it. And maybe that could even be shaken down to the theme of, you know, things, even if you're tied together by blood, things won't necessarily go as smoothly as you'd want it to. Maybe that's another way to look at it. Maybe. But let me know what you think, guys, or what you thought about the episode in itself. Not much more to dissect there, I would say, if I'm being honest, apart from Moroha being left out in this episode. I think Moroha might just be my favorite out of the three. But yo, let me know what you think. This is my third video, guys. It's for the day. It's been a long day, honestly, so I still have a few other things to finish up, so I'm just gonna get this video up for you guys. Hope you guys had a great weekend, because it's time for Monday, you know, work, school, all that jazz and blues again. So yeah, anyway, thanks for tuning in if you made it this far, and I'll see you in the next Yashahime Princess.